changes, amendments to the rules of this body, not to empower ourselves, not to bring personal benefit to ourselves, but to empower you, and you, and you, Maxine, and you, and you.
In a fiery speech, Montana lawmaker Matt Rosendale points out America's lawmaking machine is breaking down. He argues that a few big shots are hogging all the power, leaving regular folks and their ideas in the dust. He voices his frustration that only a few are calling the shots, shutting down any real talks or chances to sort things out. It's like the whole system, which used to be all about fairness and working things out, is just not what it used to be. He calls for a major shake-up, to steer the ship back to what it's supposed to be, a place where everyone's heard, not just the few at the top.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I would like to nominate the name of Byron Donalds to Speaker of the House of Representatives.
The gentleman is recognized.
Let me begin by stating that it is an absolute privilege to be here standing and serving with each and every one of you. I know we have differences of opinions, and I know we have differences of agendas that we would like to pursue, but I will tell you that we all are representing the United States of America in the best fashion that I know that we truly believe in. So thank you, and it is a privilege. When I walk out every evening from the Longworth office building, I will tell you that as I look back on the Capitol with the lights gleaming upon it, that I recognize the honor, the privilege, and the responsibility that each one of us has taken on to be in this place that we are right now, and the obligations that we have to the districts that we represent back home. It is an incredible privilege, but it is also an incredible responsibility. And I do not take it lightly, and I know that no one in this room does. We are participating in a system that has endured 247 years, through drought and through flood, through world wars, and through a civil war. And some way we return to this place year after year to serve the people of the United States of America. But unfortunately, over the past 15 years, the process that we use has been dramatically broken. The voices that were sent here to equally represent each of the 435 districts across this nation have become diminished. This through the consolidation of power into the hands of the Speaker and a fortunate few who happen to serve on the Rules Committee, which control every aspect of legislation that travels through this body.
Matt Rosendale is hitting the nail on the head, shouting what many are whispering. He's saying our halls of debate, meant for real talk and compromise, have turned into a yes or no echo chamber. That's where the crack starts, he argues, splitting everyone apart. Gone are the days of middle ground. Now, it's a tug of war with no winners. He's all about bringing back the true spirit of debate. He's challenging the myth that disagreement equals disaster and points out the real pathway to progress. It's through these tough talks that solutions are born. But then, Rosendale takes a sharp turn, tossing a direct call-out at Maxine Waters. That's where eyebrows raise, and it becomes personal, stirring the pot even more. Rosendale's point lingers in the air. Change is messy, uncomfortable, but absolutely crucial. He's waving the flag for a shake-up, tired of the status quo. And he's not wrong to spotlight the bubble those in power seem to float in. The system, as it stands, isn't just broken, it's ignoring the very people it's meant to serve.
The debate and the discussion has been all but eliminated And the balance of us are left to vote yes or no. Those are our options. And that is what has led to the disintegration of the relationships that we see across this floor. That is not equal representation, which is guaranteed by our Constitution and expected by our constituents. We have had more discussion and debate over the last 3 days than I have participated in on this floor for the last 2 years. And it's healthy. It absolutely promotes the collegiality that everyone is striving to obtain. We're having discussions not just within our own party, but amongst each other as we walk around and start planning for the legislation that we will need to address over the next 2 years in the 118th Congress, that sooner or later, yes, sooner or later, we will begin to function as. Those are the good days. And guess what? Our constituents think, as they watch us on C-SPAN today, that this is how every day functions. They think that this is how every bill gets addressed in this body. Last summer, we began to negotiate, a group of us, in good faith, a list of changes, amendments to the rules of this body, not to empower ourselves, not to bring personal benefit to ourselves, but to empower you, and you, and you, Maxine, and you, and you, and everyone sitting in this chamber equally. There's no rules. I did not use anyone's name. Everyone should be, excuse me, Maxine.
Member, direct your remarks to the chair, please.
I will, Madam Chair. Thank you. Thank you. That is so that everyone will have equal representation. Equal representation for the districts that elected them. But we cannot call it working together if you cede all of that power to the hands of a few. Hoping for this change will not create this change. And change is uncomfortable. We understand that. But it is not unachievable. And we must make change in this broken system. We must. The current leadership that is in place will continue and support the use of earmarks in this body. And that is the golden trail to corruption. The golden trail to corruption.
Rosendale steps up, and the whole room falls into an eerie silence. But why? It's because he's yelling out truths that hit hard. He points fingers, calling out the blatant corruption and sky-high inflation rates everyone's trying to ignore. It's high time those in charge face the music. They're the ones supposed to fix this mess. They're not just placeholders. They were voted in for this very purpose. They need to step up their game. He believes firmly that things can turn around. This place can be transformed from the chaos it is now into something that actually works. But for that to happen, there needs to be real debate, not just empty talk. People need to have control over their own lives. He's clear. Change is tough, it's uncomfortable, but it's absolutely crucial. We can't just sit back. It's time to challenge the status quo.